I'm your host JPOOL from JPOOL's GNERD Corner, and I'm joined today by my co-host Sandra Lee.
Hello YouTubers! Sorry to interrupt your videos of cute cats and people doing silly things.
Silly things like getting hit in the crotch.
Boom!
Yes, those are always fun. So, this episode of Comic Book Smackdown coming to you from Jesse James Comics here in Glendale, Arizona. Today's show, we will be reviewing two comics. Usually we do a Marvel or a DC comic. This time we're doing a DC comic and an IDW comic.
Woo woo! Give it up to the indie comics.
Yeah.
Woo woo!
Well, you know what? IDW has been around for some time, and I still don't really consider IDW indie anymore, but I guess it still is considered indie.
Well, give it up to the non-big two. Woo woo!
Yeah. All right. So, our DC comic for today will be Harley Quinn, a special edition of Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn goes to San Diego Comic-Con.
Not just that, she invades.
She invades it.
Yes, invades Comic-Con International San Diego.
Would it really be considered an invasion, even though she works there in the comic?
If you look at what she's doing, she's kind of invading.
Exactly.
She's more like pillaging.
Exactly. And the IDW comic book we will be reviewing is called Monster Motors.
Ooh, it has a nice cover and everything.
Yes, and we will get into exactly what that's all about. So, but first, we're going to be reviewing Harley Quinn and Invades Comic-Con International San Diego, or San Diego International, depending on how you want to put it.
When they say Comic-Con International San Diego, so if they decide to move into a bigger venue in a different city,
They're going to change it.
Will it still be Comic-Con International?
Yeah, it technically will, but they'll just have to take out the San Diego. In fact, a couple years ago, for the watchers who are watching us right now, they were actually going to try to move out of San Diego, but they were pulled back in. But they personally, in my opinion, they need a larger venue. They've outgrown the San Diego venue.
Like Los Angeles.
Yeah, in fact, I believe they were going to move to Los Angeles.
Because it has bigger venues.
It does. And right now I feel that San Diego's grown to a point where it's so large and it has so many things going on that not only will, it's nice for people to go to San Diego, go to Comic-Con, and maybe at the end of the day go to Disneyland. But because it's such a cramped venue right now because of the how many over 150,000 people, I think, or something to that effect, come there every year. It's just it needs more room, and they don't have the room in the San Diego Comic-Con Center. So this comic book, of course, has Harley Quinn, and she is headed off to Comic-Con to work a booth.
Yes, with her gang of very odd people.
Very odd people. This booth sells merchandise and T-shirts and everything. And well, she gets there and she finds out that she doesn't have a retailer badge or an exhibitor's badge, so she has to get a regular badge. I do not know. She must have either pre-registered before, because it's hard enough to get to the door and ask for a badge.
I think she pre-registered.
Yeah.
But she, since she figures, I'm friends with the dealers, I'm gonna be with them.
Yeah. So when we get there, we find out that Harley Quinn really wants to shop around her art and her story that she's written. She's apparently a pretty good artist and a story writer. Mm-hmm. She creates this character named, was it Hurl Girl?
Hurl Girl!
Yeah, Hurl Girl with the power of toxic hurl. Which I made the joke of, her psychic should be bulimic girl. But, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry for all the bulimic people out there. But she gets there and finds out it's harder to really get people to look at her stuff, or even to take it seriously.
Because it's so busy.
Well, not just busy. Any Comic-Con, you go to any big professional artist or editor or writer, a lot of them will take time to look at your stuff, but they will be very harsh. There's some that I know, a lot of friends that they're big now, but when they first started out, showing their work to, their people they've looked up to for years, and sort of being put down. It's hard on a lot of people coming up in the comic book world.
Well, in this case, it's more like for her getting her stuff to be reviewed is more like a wild goose chase, because she's getting lots of tips that, oh, this artist is here, this artist is there, and just like shut up, like, well.
Also, she keeps getting thrown out at the convention because she does a bunch of stupid stuff.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it says Invades Comic-Con, because when she's thrown out, she starts to go back in.
Yeah, she like depancing a cosplayer dressed as Batman, thinking that really is Batman. She should understand that going to these conventions, there are going to be people that are dressed up as people that she's fought in the past, but they're not the actual heroes.
Yes, it's kind of strange to see someone dressed up as someone from your rogues gallery.
Or you. And she runs into a group of ladies that are dressed up just like her in different versions of her throughout the years.
Yes, like there's the video game Harley Quinn, there's the classic Harley Quinn, and there's the one from the Batman.
Exactly. Or the Arkham Asylum games type of thing, where she gets a little sluttier and a little more risque with her costumes. So we go throughout this comic, and she's still trying to get her art and her story to be reviewed, and we get to run into different artists and writers, really popular artists and writers throughout the comic book industry.
Yeah, some of them we love.
We know and love. One of the interesting things I love about this comic book is that they make fun of themselves to the point of I'm scratching my head going, so did those people agree to be made fun of?
Yeah, but I like how it's it's like 99% of the in the lack of a better word, insults are at them, not at like other companies.
Yeah, which it was kind of interesting seeing that, because it'd be like they're poking fun at themselves, knowing that certain situations that they've been put themselves in.
Yeah, they're aware of the situation they're in, like the 3D
and they're turning it into 4D. The other D is for Didio, and he'll be in the background of every comic book. Wow. Okay, that's kind of funny, considering that when New 52 was coming out with a bunch of new number ones, they had all these 3D covers. If you guys remember, New 52 had tons of 3D covers for different characters. A lot of those character comics only went through like 10 issues and they were thrown out because they just didn't sell. But yeah, I love how they are making fun of themselves, and it's kind of funny, interesting to see that sense of humor.
And there's a celebrity appearance.
And there is a celebrity appearance. Okay, so I really don't want to spoil a lot of it.
Because it's so much fun.
It's a big comic, and it took us a while to actually get through.
And there's so much dialogue.
There's so much dialogue. There's more dialogue than the comic book we're going to be reviewing next. But I love the art. Of course, it's DC art, so it's always good.
It's a bunch of okay.
We have a lot here.
The main writer. Oh, crap.
The main writers.
The main writers are Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palamati. So, okay, they did pretty good on the Harley Quinn storyline.
Yeah.
And they're. I like it,
And different artists for different sections of the comic.
Okay, do we have time?
Okay, you can do this.
Okay. Paul Pope, Javier Garin, Damian Scott, and Robert Campanella, Amanda Connor, John Tim, Marco Falia, Dave Johnson, and Stephanie Rourke. Are those the color artists? Wait.
No, those are still the main artists.
Okay, let's see. Art. And those are the artists. Colorist. Look. What does that say?
Laverne
Kinzierski, Paul Motz, Brett Smith, and Dave McCagg.
A lot of people. It's a lot of people. It's a big comic.
It has.
I mean, it's not a super thick comic, but it has a lot. If you're wondering why the art keeps changing, that's because there's so many artists on each section of the book.
I kind of like the art. It's like you can tell the difference. It's not everything is not the same. Each artist has their own little niche.
Yeah, I really like the story in here. It's really cute, and it really showcases what San Diego Comic-Con is now, which is a good thing and sort of a bad thing if you look at it.
And also, this is since Harley Quinn is there as a guest. Oh wait, not a
guest. She's more of what she is on a regular badge.
what do you call that?
A guest starring role.
No, guest. An attendee.
Yeah, attendee. Yeah.
An attendee, not only attendee, but also someone who's helping the vendors. So this is from the attendees' point of view, and this is also from the vendors' point of view.
Exactly.
Because for someone who works who is a vendor, we all know those dumbass questions that
those questions that you're like, I don't really have an answer for you.
Ignore the fly.
Oh my goodness, there's a fly in front of the lens. That fly just shows up. It's a monster fly. Sorry about that, folks.
Oh, all hail our insect overlords.
Oh dear, we're going back to the Simpsons episode, aren't we?
Hey, it's a good one.
Yes.
Ooh, I think that marathon is still on.
All right, so before we get to the rating, what did you think of this comic?
I like it. It's cute, but there's a lot of dialogue. But that's kind of expect from a comic book that involves Harley Quinn, and it's also $4.99. So compared to the other stuff, there's a lot.
Yeah, I like Connor and Palmati. Really good writers. I've really enjoyed their stuff, and this is a perfect combination between the two. With all the artists as well, I thought they did a good job blending it all together. I really recommend this comic book. This is actually a super. This is for me. It's a buy. But for anybody else, that's not really too. They don't really like New 52. Harley Quinn is technically one of the better written characters, I think, in the New 52.
Yeah, despite the way she's dressed, you never like take away the Harley Quinn. What makes Harley Quinn so great is like her personality. She's like a psychotic cheerleader.
Exactly. This comic book is $4.99, and it is available at your local comic book store. If it's not, I would demand it and see if they can actually special order it.
Actually, there's a stack up front. So.
Well, yeah, there's a stack up front, but if their local comic book shop doesn't have it. But I would recommend this comic book totally. It's a buy.
And bang on the counter if it's made of wood or just lightly tapped.
Or glass. Yeah. So, what is your rating for this comic?
Oh my goodness! Oh my! I'm stuck between a 4
and a fly.
a 4.5 and a 5. So heck, 5 out of 5 faux flashers out of 5.
I also give this a 5 out of 5 mallets because this is a well-written story. And it just gives all those nuances going to a convention like San Diego and puts it in there enough to the point of even a little guest star appearance that you might have seen online on a certain celebrity that likes to post a lot on his own Facebook. So pick this up at your local comic book shop, and there you go. Yeah. All right, so next one we have IDW's Monster Motors. Yes, I decided to go with more of an independent brand because really there wasn't much in the way of Marvel that we could really review. I think, but
yeah, I looked at that one of their specials. It doesn't really capture me.
This book is written by Brian Lynch, illustrated by Nick Roche, and colored by Leonard O'Grady.
Ooh, goody! Names we can pronounce.
Yay! Okay, so this is a story about a man who's technically not a repairman or an auto doctor, and his name is Vic Frankenstein, and
He's a whiz.
yes, he's a whiz at anything mechanical, and he goes to this place called Transylvania, Kentucky. I did not know there was a Transylvania, Kentucky.
Well, it's better than Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah. So, well, if you get the point of what's going on, his name is Vic Frankenstein. He's going to a place called Transylvania. This is a sort of a take on, Dr. Frankenstein's monster, with cars, technically, which is kind of interesting.
It's better than it sounds.
It's better than it sounds. So one day he goes to this garage, this pretty much a junkyard, and now it's his. Now he owns a garage and a junkyard.
He owns it through the internet. I wonder if I can own something from the internet.
Maybe if it's haunted and they don't just want to get rid of it. But just be careful, because he releases an evil entity that we find out called Cadillacula. Yes, it sounds hilarious and really campy, but it's this car that...
It's not meant to be like super duper dark.
No, it's not dark. And in fact, the animation is really cute. I actually like the animation. It's very clean. So we find out this car, Cadillacula, it's going to take me a while to get that right. He feasts on other cars and takes technically not only their gas, but pretty much turns it into a junkyard type of car after even a nice brand new car. And
he turns the chrome into rust.
Yes, technically. It's kind of like what a vampire would do to a human and just suck them dry. Well, every time he takes a car and pretty much takes all the life out of it, he gains new abilities. His old rusty exterior becomes smooth, and he becomes more armored and has more weaponry on him.
So by sucking the gasoline, he automatically pimps his own ride.
He pimps his own ride, and then he can fly.
He can fly! How can he do that?
Now, Vic Frankenstein has this cute little robot that follows him that he made called Igor. It's adorable.
Yes.
It helps him out with little things, and so they're getting chased by this Cadillacula, and Cadillacula has this ability to control other machines, kind of like how Dracula has the ability to control people by just looking at them. And well, we find out that he escapes the junkyard, Cadillacula, and terrorizes the town, destroying pretty much all the cars in town. And we find out that there's a used car salesman that comes into town trying to sell his cars. His name is R.M. Renfield. Yes. Pretty much Frankenstein's telling him, you need to get out of town because you're holding a buffet for this menace that's coming back into town.
But Renfield sees dollar signs.
He sees dollar signs. He doesn't see danger. And so Frankenstein decides to build himself a weapon out of spare parts. And it's alive!
Spare parts from old cars!
And it doesn't run on gasoline. It runs on electricity!
You mean it's an electric truck?
It's completely electric. In fact, I believe that those rods I believe are Tesla rods. But yeah, it literally comes to life. Before he had a GPS that talked to him, and this one just is like sentient. And so he's like, it's alive! So yeah, this is a really funny take on the whole Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein.
Ride.
But also dealing with a bunch of other monsters too. Later on, we get introduced to some other cars with funny little names like Jekyll and Mr. Hybrid.
And the Invisible Sedan.
And some others too. We really don't want to spoil what else comes at the end.
Ooh, even it comes with a little biography.
Yeah, a little biography of each character and everything. I love the animation here. It's really cute. This is perfect for kids. This is not violent enough where you bring this home and you go, oh, I'm worried that's going to be like too mature for them. I think it's.
I just realized there's no swear words in this
No,
one.
it's not. The story in here is good enough for kids, but it's also interesting enough for adults. I love the animation in here. Or not, well,
the art.
I say animation a lot. The art in here. The colors really pop off the page. It's very smooth. I love the paper they use because it makes it a lot thicker.
Which explains why explains the price.
Well, it's $5.99. Yes, it's a little pricey. It's $2 more than what you normally pay for a comic. It's pretty good with the amount of pages it has in here, and the story is really interesting. And I'm actually looking forward to reading the next one.
And you can look up and see what kind of abilities they have.
They do. They have lots of abilities. So I actually recommend this. This is a really good book. Definitely, I can't wait for the second issue. But before I get to the rating, what do you think?
I think it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. It's a nice spin on the whole like legendary monsters.
Yeah, because it's been almost overdone. So
Yeah.
people have done it the same way over and over again.
Yeah, so it's like there's the most recent one is like the Monster High monsters, girl monsters.
Yeah,
I'd say.
yeah. Don't. It's not that good.
Oh well, good. The good news is it starts to fade.
Yeah, that's true.
So, so
Yeah. What rating would you give this book?
Since you mentioned Tesla rods, I give it a 4 out of 5 Tesla rods.
I give it a 4.5, a 4.5 spare parts out of 5 because it wasn't a perfect book, but it was enough where it can appeal to both children and adults, and a definite pickup if you are interested in something different, and especially going outside the big two.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our review today for Comic Book Smackdown. Thank you for watching. I'm your host, JPOOL, and this is my co-host, Sandra Lee.
Bye-bye.
And please go to her website to check her out some stuff she writes at
Circuit42.com.
They also have a Twitter at Circuit42.
Yes, and a Facebook page. Facebook.com/Circuit42. I guess, yeah.
Also go to my Facebook at Facebook.com/JPOOL's GNERD Corner. And please subscribe to this page on YouTube. Please, on the bottom, right down here, subscribe.
Yes, take a break from watching all your kitty videos and people doing silly things and yeah.
Exactly. All right, well, thank you for watching.